We're going to have to do that whole countdown all over again.
Why is that?
Because we're not streaming on Instagram yet.
But we're streaming everywhere else.
Well, then I guess we can just not worry about Instagram.
Michael was fixing on the back end, yeah?
Let's see.
What's going on? Everybody, live with another episode of Being Sexy Nomad. You answer the question, what happened when two old motherfuckers decide to live stream podcast and don't really know what they're doing? Well, that is a very good question that we are actively and currently answering for you, especially if you're an Instagram watcher. And here's Big Sexy.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this is hitting your ear holes, I hope that it is good. I am going to try to do this on the fly in real time. See if I can possibly connect us to the Instagram live feed. Looks like we're having issues all over the place. Oh, well, shit.
Well,
so any of our listeners on X, apparently X has changed their platform where you have to have a premium account in order to go live on X, and I'm not doing that. So fuck you, X. Fuck you, Elon.
All right, thanks, but no thanks there.
You can kiss my butt.
That blue check mark on X has turned into what's the opposite of a badge of courage?
A badge of shit.
It's definitely shameful, like it used to mean something. Now it just means that you're some washed up hack that's going to pay $8 a month for a status symbol.
Right.
Wrong. In America, people pay far more than $8 a month to promote their alleged status.
But I don't care enough. We don't have a big enough following on X to warrant that requirement. If we were hopping on X live and we're getting like 30 or 50 people on or 100 something people on, then I'm like, okay, then it markets me to go premium. But we don't really. I don't know if we get one.
I also don't think that the folks that, let me choose my words carefully here. The folks that are tuned into the dog whistle that is represented by the blue check mark on Twitter/X are not square in the middle of our target demographic.
Right. Right. That's true. And I realized people ask, what is your demographic? I mean, technically, it's pretty much people over the age of 18 who enjoy travel and know either one of us or want to get to know either one of us.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not super worried if people don't know me or you. And I think there's, now that I have all your phone contacts, a degree of mutual exclusivity there. Man, the messages I was sending out this weekend. No, just kidding.
Who this? You got a lot of who this? What? I don't have you say who this. So I meant to download an audio file for this episode of podcast, but I got behind, so I didn't download it. So instead, I'll just do this. This just in, Big Sexy is a criminal.
Wait, what?
So I got my FBI fingerprint results back, and apparently I got arrested a long time ago for some bullshit that was cleared up, but apparently the arrest is still on my record.
Interesting. What state?
California.
Okay.
Yeah, so the short story long, I used to sell candles with Party Light, and I hosted a party and did a whole sale and got the items shipped, and they got shipped to the wrong location. So I tracked down to where the items got shipped, and I went to said location to pick up the Party Light items that did not belong to this household. Apparently, the parents weren't home when I decided to stop by this address, and the kids or whoever was there decided to call the police because there was a big black man knocking on their door saying, "Hey, can you give me my candles back?" So, and I was like, they're like, "We're going to call the police." I said, "Fine. I don't care if you call the police. You have my candles. You have my shipment. It doesn't belong to you. I have all the paperwork to show where it goes." So the cops arrived, and apparently I had apparently now and then, I had a bench warrant for my arrest based on a clerical error of a traffic fine that I had not paid, which I did pay, but it did not get, again, clerical error. It didn't get fixed. Post everything, it got taken care of, and everything was fine, except for I did have this arrest on my record. So again, fast forward, and this was like early 2000s, right? Fast forward 20 some odd years, and I'm applying for the NOGCAP position in Spain, and I get it, and I have to do the FBI background check for my visa, and I get the email back saying it does show that there's an arrest on this record. It doesn't mean there is any, criminal history. It just shows that there's an arrest. However, there are no specifics in the email. So, what does that mean? It means that now I'm going to still submit for the visa, but there is a chance that they'll deny it because of this criminal record that I have on my in my background. This arrest, as it were. So yeah, the sound cue that I was going to drop was the Eminem song "Criminal."
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought it was funny. The criminal, I am a criminal. You goddamn right. Right. So I was going to drop that, but then I got lazy and didn't download it. So I then just get the news drop instead. But yeah, Big Sexy criminal.
I sent you a link to the petition to file to have that arrest sealed. If you have trouble with it, let me know, because I know a couple of attorneys that are licensed in California. They don't specifically do that type of work, but they may be somebody who knows enough about it or might be able to point us in the right direction of making that actually disappear.
Awesome. I'll get on that, and as soon as we're done here, we'll send it. Oh.
Are we glitchy?
Oh, are we back? We clear?
Seems okay on my end.
All right. Where did you send it to?
I sent you a message on Facebook Messenger.
Okay, cool deal.
Which has been a little hokey for me as of late through my web browser.
Right. So I'll
but
check it out. Yeah, I clicked over on Facebook and I think that made me glitch. So I said, let me get off that, and I'll wait till we're all said and done.
Yeah, it'll be there.
But yeah, so that put us in a position of backup mode. You know, nothing in this entire journey has really gone as foreseen or as planned. There's always been hope, but anytime I've solidified what I thought was going to happen, that has changed within the week.
Well, there's no conviction, so I think you're going to end up getting this thing ironed out. But you can never tell
as well
how particular agencies are going to be about certain things.
Right.
You know, but
yeah, I'm still hopeful that we end up in Cadiz at the end of this year.
Yeah, that would be great.
But we may end up in Mexico. That has been discussed. Also, Thailand has been discussed as well.
Interesting.
However, Thailand used to be easy. It is no longer as easy as it was.
I've heard the women still are.
Yeah, apparently, yes. Apparently, they're
in travel, but
right. Facts. Apparently, there is. As an American, we have a high rate of sexual currency in Southeast Asia.
That's what I've heard.
Right. And which I'm trying to decide if that makes me want to go or not want to go. The jury is out on that possibility. There's a big part of me that goes, well, I want to see what that looks like in action. You know, because I've never experienced having a high sexual currency, even with a name like Big Sexy.
I would imagine that if you walked through those streets wearing a T-shirt that just says "I am Big Sexy," that you're gonna have like a Justin Bieber like swarm around you. And again, this is what I'm visualizing in my head. Whether there's any reality to that, who knows?
Right. Yeah, I don't yet have a shirt that says "I am Big Sexy," but I do have a shirt that says "Big Sexy Digital Nomad," and I do need to get I want polos made. That's the next big clothing purchase. Is I want to get a polo made with our logo on the pocket. I also want to get a button down, like a nice dress shirt that says "Big Sexy Digital Nomad" or has like our cover art on the front of it, so that I can represent everywhere I go. Currently, I'm representing Rainbow Dreamcatcher, the Love podcast. I am kicking myself because I realized that I bought 2 shirts with the same logo on it, one green and one purple, when really what I should have done is on a different color. We have several different logos, so I'm not making that same mistake twice. I'm gonna every new shirt that I purchase will have a different logo on it. Yeah, and my goal is to eventually have a full closet of our swag.
There you go. Yeah. Well, a bunch of folks out there have those same shirts. Everybody has them now.
But nobody's posted yet. Damn it, guys, post. Post it on the social medias. I want to see that shit out in the wild.
Show us the love.
Exactly. Yeah, man. So that has been my week. Do you pay attention to European football, aka soccer?
No.
Well, let me tell you what happened to me recently. Spain was in the finals for the Euro Cup. And so everywhere I went, all it was a sea of red and yellow.
Yeah.
Red and gold. Everywhere. Flags, capes, clothing, makeup. The game was last night as of this recording. I want to say Viva la España. They won. They beat England 2-1, I believe was the final score.
Nice.
And it was interesting because I don't really care that much. And so I was out for a little bit, and you could tell which screens had a delay because there would be an eruption over here to my left where we're sitting, and there's another group watching the game right in front of us. there'd be an eruption to the left. About a minute later, an eruption right in front of us. I
Interesting.
went, oh, okay. So there's a big delay there.
Big delay.
Yeah, when we were watching the Netherlands versus Poland, there was that same kind of delay, but literally bars that were right next to each other. So something would happen on our screen, the entire bar would erupt, and the bar next to us was completely quiet. And I'm like, why is nobody excited? I guess they just don't care over there. And then, no, flip it. I'm sorry, flip it. It happened over there first. They erupted, and we're like, whatever. And so we start watching our screen, like, what happened? What's going? And like, oh man, there must be a delay. Okay, because we're not reacting. We're still watching. Now everybody's watching with an intense purpose and curiosity because something's gonna happen.
Yeah,
And then,
you know it.
yeah, you know it. I'm like, oh damn, we're in the spoiler zone. Y'all need to get that shit synced up because you know, spoilers for football. But yeah, if you haven't watched the Euro Cup yet, spoiler alert, Spain won. So of course it was loud as fuck last night. You know, horns, chanting, singing. It was massive. It was crazy, but
So-
also awesome.
I think one of the big problems here in the States is access. You know, where is it that I can go to watch that, and therefore not having an automatic answer to that question creates some difficulties. So I don't and I am not, I'm not rare. I'm kind of becoming the norm in the whole quote unquote cord cutter movement. And you know, I don't have normal broadcast cable
Right.
at my house. And I think that is becoming more and more the norm, not the outlier. And
Yeah.
as a result, it's not only like things like overseas soccer or whatever that I don't have access to, or I don't know where to access it. But one of the other things that's really taken a hit, something that I used to watch all the time, but because of the way that the rights of the broadcasting exist, I don't watch baseball anymore.
Really?
I don't, and it's not for a lack of desire, but like, so to compare and contrast, the 11 plus $11+ billion a year industry that is the NFL, they have the reason why they grow so rapidly, why they make so much money, most of which comes from the broadcast terms, is that, you know, as a general consumer, when and where the NFL games are on.
Yep. On TV on a Sunday.
And here's the thing: there's a format to it. Okay, so your games are either, and I'm going to give these times from U.S. East Coast because I believe that is the standard that everything works off of for the NFL. You have a rack of 1 o'clock games on Sunday. You have a smaller, broken down regionally selection of 4 o'clock games.
Correct.
Also on Sunday. There is usually one and only one nationally broadcasted Sunday night 8:30-ish p.m. game. It might be 8:15, something like that.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
For
between 8 and 8:30.
30 years or so, there has been Monday Night Football.
One
game, except there are like 2 times now where, like, opening weekend they'll do 2 Monday night games,
right?
But they stagger them. And then there's another time in the season where sometimes there's 2 Monday night games, but usually, but again, it's still Monday night. Okay, there are no
Thanksgiving.
games. Thanksgiving is a thing now. Thanksgiving has been a thing for quite some time. And Thursday, but the Thanksgiving thing has kind of blended into and been expanded because
Thursday
they used to have 2 Thursday games, a 1 o'clock and a 4 o'clock, which are the standard times for games. The the Dallas Cowboys would always host one of those games. The Detroit Lions will always host one of those games.
Yeah, usually was always an NFC and an AFC game, one for each division.
But both of those are NFCs; those are hosting. But but now I want to say it's probably been better than 10 years now that they then started to be like, hey, we can do an evening, a third game on Thanksgiving, an evening game, and which has evolved over the past couple of years now into there being a Thursday night game most of the season. So they have slowly expanded the days, but you don't have to worry about where you're going to watch the NFL on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Right. Not like baseball.
No, again, baseball's totally different. All right.
Or basketball. Baseball and basketball.
Yeah.
Right. Those games happen all the time because there's hundreds of games.
Yeah. The funny thing, an interesting trivia fact, which obviously has changed a little bit as the dynamics of this, but there are 2 days, only 2 days on the calendar where there is not one of the major 4 professional sports leagues, NHL, NBA, MLB, NFL. 2 days in which there is not a professional game from one of those 4 leagues. Can you name those 2 days?
I can make it up. I'd say Black Friday and let's go with Juneteenth.
Okay. First, I will tell you that you were wrong, and then I will give you a hint. This hint may not be helpful to you.
Okay.
If you're not tuned into baseball, you won't get the reference. But today is one of those days.
July 15th.
Okay, you have accurately used a calendar or know what day it is.
Well, only because it tells me on my computer. But
the 2 days are not calendar days, so to speak. They are the day before and the day after the MLB All-Star Game.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't even know that happened.
We are in the part of the year where there is no NBA or NHL or NFL.
Right.
So the only thing that's really played during the summer, not
is baseball.
Every team has a game every day, but every day there is an MLB game except the day before and the day after the All-Star Game.
Interesting. I never knew that. I never knew that.
And that is enough sports talk until we hit episode 100.
And then we're going to talk about NASCAR. Once we get to episode, we'll talk about some NASCAR. I'll relive my Jimmy Johnson days.
So NASCAR really, the main, like the big race, those are only on Sundays. So, they'll never fall. The MLB All-Star Game is always on a Tuesday. It's generally in July. I mean, the only reason that it wouldn't be in July is something like, a global pandemic or whatever probably changed that. I don't even remember when the All-Star Game was that year. And obviously that whole only 2 days thing did not apply when they were canceling games, but in normal practice,
in normal game procedures.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the only place you could watch European football would probably be ESPN. If you got the ESPN streaming package, I imagine there. And then if you got like any of the, but it's cable. So like, I mean, not ESPN. The streaming is not cable, but otherwise it's the cable channel. But you mentioned, you're decablifying, you're uncabling, you're loosening up the cables, getting rid of the cables, and streaming. So I think ESPN is probably the only place, only because it was the Euro Cup final.
Yeah,
right. I'm sure they didn't have any of the playoffs
happening in London.
I don't know where they played. You've gone beyond my realm of knowledge about this whole thing.
Because I want to say that I saw a ton of advertisement. Is this like a long tournament that started around the time that, like, right after maybe like the 1st of June?
I know that's when I think the finals kind of began around then, maybe.
Okay, that might be it, because they were advertising for some big soccer event that was coming to London literally like the week after we left London.
Okay, yeah, that's probably the Euro Cup. I know that they were in it in the finals. They made it to the big game, but I don't know if they played in Europe. I can always we can check. We do have the devices in front of us
Yeah,
that
we
allow
sure
us to search for those kind of information. Where was the Euro Cup played?
I want to like European soccer. I really do. When I lived in Chicago, the second year that I was out there, when we lived not too far from Wrigleyville, we were not in Wrigleyville, but we were probably within, wouldn't want to walk there, but if you tied one on, you wouldn't mind walking back distance. 10, 12, 15 blocks, something like
Yeah.
that. I don't have to look it up to know for sure. And about, I don't know, 2-3 blocks away from where we lived was this bar that on the weekends, during the day, would always have some sort of European soccer match that was playing in there. And people knew that, and they would flock to this place. And there's just some sort of just buzz that goes along with people standing around and watching something that might not have the nonstop action, the full 90 minutes that you expect from like an NHL game or even an NFL game during plays. And it's, it's definitely, oh, sweet. We're getting some spam on the Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, thanks to the Twitch bot that's there spamming your whatever. Shout out to you. You deserve it.
Thank you, Twitch bot. How about you send some viewers on over our way?
That's right.
Make yourself useful. Make yourself useful, bot.
Yeah.
Germany is where the Euro Cup was held this year.
Okay.
They played in Germany. Alemán, as they say in Spanish. So it was very loud, to say the least. It was very loud here, and it was everywhere. When I say everywhere, at least Malaga, everywhere. I stopped off at Plaza Mayor to pick up some dog food. They had Plaza Mayor, like this outdoor shopping area. They had the entire middle section, their seats, and there was a big screen for people to watch the game. The game started at 9 p.m. our time. People were sitting down waiting for the game at like 6 p.m.
Wow.
6 p.m. the place was packed for a 9 p.m. start time. So yeah, it was intense. It was definitely intense. Maybe 7 p.m. I taught my first improv class.
Oh, nice.
Yesterday as well. Shout out to mylaga.org, who helped me sponsor the workshop. There were 5 other people. So thank you all for coming out and playing. I got some really good feedback on the class, and I apparently do know what the fuck I'm talking about, which is always good to have a reminder.
Yeah, for sure.
That, people are like, oh man, that class was great. Appreciate the feedback. And okay, puff me up a little bit. Go ahead. All right, my shoulder kind of raised up a little bit. Hey, I know something or two about improv. I've been saying that, but it's nice to put it in action. I have been invited to a performance. If any of our listeners will be in Spain, in Malaga, on July 24th, I will be performing I'll be performing improv with the mylaga.org troupe. And I will, of course, be sending links. So stay tuned for ticket information and booking information, location, all that kind of good information to come soon. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'll be hosting another improv workshop this weekend. The host was like, "Do you want to do it every weekend?" You know, we try not because the numbers tend to be low. And I said, "Look, I'm only here for a few more weeks. So yeah, if I want to do it every chance that I possibly get."
Well, you don't want those groups to be huge anyway.
I don't want massive. A good number would be 10 people.
Yeah, I think when we were trying to line something up for Matt to do, and Matt's pretty seasoned as far as not only doing improv, but teaching improv. He's been doing that for a long, long time. I don't know how long you've been doing the teaching side of things, but I want to say that his magic number was no more than 16. So you're not necessarily looking for filling an auditorium.
30 or 40. No, that's insane. Yeah. No. Yeah, my magic number is anywhere between 12 and 14. Because I really do like to give individualized feedback. I think too many more than that, and you run out of time.
Yeah.
Right, you really run out of time unless you're doing like a 3 or 4 hour workshop, which this one was only a 2 hour workshop. So I mean, it worked out perfectly. Everybody got to play a lot, which is always helpful. One of the attendees was like, "Oh man, I wish there were more people. That way I can sit back and watch." I was like, "No. Even if there were more people, you're not sitting back and watch. I will. You're gonna play. You're gonna get down there because you're here to learn, and I'm here to teach." So that was a lot of fun. Can't wait to do it again. I'm also going to reintroduce the line dance class to my repertoire. What I might do is do improv from like 5 to 7. And then teach a line dance class from like 7:30 to 9 or something along those lines. Because it'll still be light. It'll be cooler off than the heat of the day. And hopefully I'll get some people out to come and have some fun.
Cool. I like it. So that your show is the 24th.
That's a Wednesday.
The 23rd, the Tuesday right before it, will be the formal announcement of all of the non-comedy headliner performers for the Rochester Fringe Festival. So
are you considered a non-comedy performer?
Non-comedy headliner. They announced last week sometime that the one night only headliner Pete Davidson is doing a show there. So that's been announced and tickets are on sale for that and only that. Obviously, we know who's performing and when, but and people have leaked that they'll be performing. But the ability to purchase tickets to any of the Rochester Fringe Festival shows to get the real details, we're not supposed to formally put out any announcements until this big reveal. That is next Tuesday morning, East Coast time. Tickets to all of those events will start to go on sale at noon. So. Cool. I don't expect it because of the nature of what I have observed with live entertainment generally to sell out super early. But I will say that the theater that I'm performing my shows in only has 108 seats in it. So I would say that when I put on a show, I'm averaging 120 to 200 people. So if you see dates that you know that you're targeting, get those tickets earlier. Don't wait till the last minute. Just out of courtesy, you know what I mean?
Get the tickets, get them early. You know that we promote that here. Get the tickets, get them early as soon as you can. Get the tickets.
And the other thing is, I learned in another call that I had today, there are over 1 million people apparently that will attend a Rochester Fringe Festival show this year.
Really? Fuck, that's a lot of people.
Apparently. They, unlike some other Fringe festivals, which again, I've talked about this before, the Fringe Festival approach seems to be a very, very diverse and mixed bag from festival to festival. Some far more organized than others, some with a much more substantial marketing budget than others. some of them are just far more established in general than others. Rochester appears to be near the top of that heap. So there is a distinct possibility that some of these shows do sell out sooner based on the way that Rochester Fringe inherently markets their shows.
All right.
And their whole event. But again, they also, keep in mind, they've got 20 plus venues. It's really a big deal. Spiegel World is somehow tied into this whole thing. And I think is one of their big sponsors, because Spiegel World has a big Spiegel tent that they erect in the middle of, somewhere in the middle of the city. That's kind of a normal place for everybody to kind of like a hub to hang out and work for, a meeting place and everything like that. I think I've mentioned in the past that there are definitely, companies out there, Spiegel World probably being among them, that will scout performers, especially like acrobatic type performers,
right,
to potentially get them. Other fringe festivals come here to scout performers and try to get people to go to their festivals and things like that. So
it's safe to say that Spiegel World will have the biggest erection at the Rochester Fringe Festival.
I mean, that's
wise.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you're not too far from Niagara Falls, and that's up there and pretty big. It's pretty epic. Yeah.
It's cool. That sounds amazing. Yeah, I was leaning towards like, oh, maybe I'll be able to go. Maybe I was kind of like looking up flights and things in that nature, because I thought we would be in the U.S. for sure. Now nothing is for sure.
Right.
So I'm in that place where I had plans, speaking of tickets and seeing shows. I'm a big fan of comedian Josh Johnson, and he is performing at the Ontario Improv, where I got my stand-up comedy start in September. And I was going to buy tickets for me and the missus for one of our lovely date days. And now, I don't know if we'll be in the U.S. in September. We were talking about moving. When we came back this time around, staying in Vegas. But now I don't know if that's possible. We're going to maybe just go to California, because, again, we save the most money doing so, as it were, because, in Vegas, even though I'd have employment of sorts, that can get eaten up in travel.
Yeah.
And having to get to and from places, since travel is no longer cheap. And they don't have a great public transportation system. So a lot of fucking shit is up in the fucking air. Speaking of shit that's up in the air, so were my feet the other day. But not in a good way.
We're not circling back to you going to prison, right?
No.
Okay.
No. This is a much more, I'd say, embarrassing if I got embarrassed, but I don't. Let's just say I in Romania, I got dehydrated, and apparently my body longed for those days. So I got dehydrated again here in Spain. But this time, instead of the comfort of my own Airbnb, my muscles decided to stop working in the middle of Torremolinos as I was walking back doing laundry at the laundromat, making my way to McDonald's to use their free Wi-Fi to pass the time. I didn't make it. My body said, "How about you just drop right here?" And there was one, I felt my muscles getting weak and my leg kind of started dipping. I'm, oh man, I need to get to a place to sit down. But there was no place to sit down where I was. There was a statue that I grabbed onto and then fell to the ground. There were some lovely Spanish Samaritans who picked me up, held me to a bench, stayed with me, made me call my wife. One of them brought me back a cold towel to cool me off. brought me water, which I had a bottle of water with me, and I have been drinking it, but apparently not enough to not be dehydrated. And I realized that, I mean, it was hot, and I'm used to hot, but I'm used to a dry heat.
Yeah.
And apparently, humid heat does different shit to your body, which makes sense, right? When I had the issue in Romania, it was because I did 5 back-to-back hot saunas,
Yeah.
which are steam rooms, right? So a lot of humidity in the heat that took all my hydration out of my body.
Have you looked into those liquid IV packets that I think I mentioned when this
You
happened?
did. You mentioned it when that happened before. I have looked into it. I don't know if I can get it here in Spain, and I wasn't thinking about it when I was back in California because it's the kind of thing you think about after you get dehydrated.
Yeah. I mean, they're very similar, obviously different flavors, but taste wise and kind of like texture and makeup wise, they're a powder though, not the drops like the Kool-Aid, but they might be a worthwhile, I don't want to say full on replacement to the Kool-Aid, but change it up and maybe every so often mix one of those in.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to look that up.
I can't attest to the veracity of them. I don't know that their claims are or are not true. I do know that I make plans for if I'm going to be in dry climates like Vegas or going to Oregon for a week to do a bunch of, shows at a county fair that are all going to be outside, that I make sure that I stock up on and pack that kind of stuff with me, because even if it's not making a big difference, if it is, then I've done it.
It's the kind of difference you don't want to know about.
Yeah.
Right. If it works the way it's supposed to work, then
great.
You don't notice it. You just go about your life.
Yeah.
As is. It's when you don't use it and then the other bad shit happens to you. You're like, oh, that wouldn't have happened had I been having the liquid IV or whatever. So yeah, I'm definitely again gonna look into it because apparently I'm also susceptible to muscle failure when I get dehydrated.
That's no good.
Yeah, no bueno. But the people were lovely. Shout out to those folks who helped me up. And I know you're not hearing this because you don't know that I have this podcast because I didn't mention it. It's been one hell of a week, sir. The few days in between when we last spoke, I went to a birthday goodbye party. Shout out to Maki, who is headed back to, I think, the Netherlands. She's going back to the Czech Republic. She had a goodbye party. I went to the party and I didn't know anybody, like I do. But the key word that got me to go, because they posted in one of the WhatsApp groups about the party, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, well, I don't recognize any of the names on the list, but you know what? It's a party. And they had the key word, karaoke.
There you go.
If there's karaoke, I'm good.
Did you ever connect to whoever it was that I tagged you in that was looking for a Shrek karaoke person?
I haven't heard back from them. I mean, I commented on the post as well. I didn't message them directly, which I probably should. But they also haven't messaged me either. So
yeah,
but I'll send them a message and be like, see what they need, when they need it, where they need it. There's a lot. So the party was wonderful. Shout out to everybody that I met there. You all were amazing. A lot of fun. The energy was fabulous. Maki apparently is an amazing singer. We did Phantom of the Opera together, and she killed it. It was a lot of fun because, I walk in. Let me set the scene. So I walk in. Everybody's kind of just standing around. I'm there maybe about an hour later than the start time because I want, I initially want to be at the beginning, but I don't want to be like the first or second person there because I don't know anybody, right? So it's like I'd rather get there when people are already there and established, and I can kind of introduce myself. So I walk in, everybody's kind of standing around in a circle, all quiet and talking to one another. And I introduced myself, of course. And the person who came with, hey, I'm Fran. I said, hi, I'm Big Sexy. That elicits laughter, naturally, which does, because, people are often in disbelief that I offer that as my name. And I take it, and again, I have learned to pay that no mind.
Yeah.
I gotta I can't react every time somebody laughs or scoffs every time I say my name is Big Sexy, because I can't draw attention to that
Of course.
thing, right? So, anyhow, introduce myself, and then one of the guys says, "Oh, are you gonna sing some karaoke? Because nobody's doing anything. Everybody's sitting around. It's getting kind of boring." I said, "Sure, yeah." And I'm like, "Yeah, I him and Hall. Oh, I mean, maybe I'll do some karaoke. Sure. I mean, what do you got? Right?" And I talked to this other guy, and I said, he's like, "Yeah, you gonna sing?" I said, "Yeah, I'll sing. I don't know what should I sing." He said, "I don't know." I asked him, "So give me a year," and he gives me 1974. 79. When did My Sharona come out? Maybe it was 1984. So whatever year he gave me, I ended up doing the Knack My Sharona.
Okay.
And kill it, of course. It's love song, one of my favorite songs. I have a blast. That kind of gets the party started. So instantly I go from who the fuck is this guy? 79. No, it was the 70s, yes. Yeah. So who the fuck is this guy? He called himself what? Oh shit, this dude is amazing. Right. And then I go to the person whose party it is, introduce myself again, and I ask her, like, okay, what is your favorite style of music? She says musical theater. So I say, oh, what's your favorite musical? She goes, Phantom of the Opera. For those that know me, and to those who don't, my number one favorite musical of all time is Hamilton, an American musical. That only recently replaced Phantom of the Opera as my number one musical of all time. So she said Phantom of the Opera, and I went, I got you. So I went up and I did Music of the Night, and killed it. Oh man, I was in the zone. And then she comes, she goes, "Can you do Phantom of the Opera?" Of course, I can do Phantom of the Opera. So she comes up and we sing Phantom of the Opera together. Blow it out the fucking party. So now it's a fucking party. Everybody's like, "Oh, no,
video." Tell me there's video that we can post on our Patreon.
Oh, there is video. There 100% is video, and I will 100% post that on our Patreon. And if you want to see that video, you can swing on over to bullwiththebutthole.com. Join our Patreon feed, and I'll post it there. And I'll post it for all members, so you don't have to be a paid member to see that video.
Sweet.
To see that. And then I may have another video of me singing a different song, and I'll post that to the paid members so you guys get a little something extra. But so we kill it. Then we're having fun and just talking and shooting and having a good time. And then they turn off the karaoke and they go up to do. They're a band. Several of them are band members, so they play a small, tiny set, which I really, really wanted to jump on to go on stage and take the mic away from the main singer. He did a great job. Don't get me wrong. It was fun. It was great to listen to, and it was Fran, the guy who I think put the invitation and first welcomed me. So, and he was having a good time or whatever. It's just they were doing songs that I love and then songs that I didn't know. I mean, I couldn't do all the songs because some of them were Spanish and I don't know the fucking songs. But like they did, Every Breath You Take from, the Police. They did Creep by Radiohead. They played around with La Bamba, right? And it's like, oh man, I want to get in there. And of course, I'm over by I suddenly became the sound guy because the mics were getting feedback. And I said, oh, let me help you out here. Let me tweak the gain a little bit. Let me raise the mic. But we can't hear him on the microphone. I got you. Let me turn the mic up a little bit. So now I'm the audio technician. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So we definitely had a blast. It was great going from, like I said, who is this to wow, you're fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And dancing. Then they put on some, bachata and salsa music, and everybody started dancing and having a good time, which gave me a chance to sit down and rest my voice and eat the off-brand Pringles that they had there. They had munchies, but I'm particular with my food, so I didn't eat any of the munchies except for they had barbecue off-brand Pringles and regular off-brand Pringles. So I did the very weird OCD thing of getting a stack of those chips and putting them side by side and then shuffling one on top of the other so that every other one was a different flavor.
Oh, there you go.
And I watched somebody watching me do that because I had a big fucking stack of chips. And they're like, what? And I said, and then I sat back and just enjoyed the chips and talked. The bomb thing was that place was in a theater space called Backstage Academy. Shout out to Backstage Academy, who I am will be in talks with about possibly teaching one of my workshops there. As a matter of fact,
Nice.
I'm going to call or I'm going to WhatsApp the guy today to see if it's possible to get something together this Saturday. Right, if I can do my workshop class this Saturday, because this past Saturday I did it in a park. But if I could do it on an interior space, that would be much better. Right, one would be much cooler. I don't have to worry about dead pigeons. Let me tell you something about this park. The seagulls out here kill pigeons
Really?
like savages. Every place we wanted to go had at least one dead bird.
That's unique.
And I saw a pigeon die and watched a seagull eat it. It was, they talk about the circle of life.
Yeah.
And it was mildly disturbing to watch a seagull just munch on the interior of a pigeon. Just there in the park. Littered with dead pigeons.
Yeah.
And ants. Dead pigeons and ants. Yeah. That's what it was all everywhere.
That's wild. Yeah.
It was intense and insane. Intense and insane.
So I can announce something here. It just became available, I think yesterday.
Okay.
I kind of talked about how out of Baltimore we are working on doing a magic themed cruise that's going to be pushed and promoted by Elkton Magic.
Yes.
It is official.
Dun, 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 dun.
The magical vacation like no other is coming. It will be out of Baltimore April 13th through the 20th, 2025. If you go to gowithlisa.com/group/Elkton Magic, you'll be able to get all of the information, book your cabins or anything like that through them. And basically the way that we've got it set up, because Elkton Magic has a budget, we're paying the performers that are going to be on there. As we get more and more people booking cabins, that's going to take care of their accommodations. So the prices that you see when you go to gowithlisa.com/group/Elkton Magic are probably better prices than if you just went straight to Carnival to book.
Okay, so through Carnival, awesome.
So there's like no extra surcharge or anything like that for this. Elkton Magic and the travel agents are taking care of all of the accommodations and everything for the performers. And we still have not worked out all of the details, but ultimately, as long as we book 40 cabins, there will be 3 performances, and because that'll get us enough credits to get everybody that we need on board and get them paid without having, sometimes people will do these types of things and then they'll upcharge an extra couple $100 for the entertainment. We're not doing that. So
Okay.
what you would pay direct through Carnival, probably cheaper, because what happens is that these cruise companies, like the travel agent side, like Chris and Lisa, who are our supporters on the Patreon, excellent, perfect. They are affiliated with a company. They actually purchased a franchise with a company called Cruise Planners. So what happens is Cruise Planners pre-negotiates big blocks of rooms ahead of time with Carnival. So you are absolutely, especially on the cruise side of things, land, okay, cruise for sure, you are absolutely getting the best price possible. And you're also most of the time getting substantial extra perks, extra onboard credit, things like that. So,
Nice.
you know, I will always be an advocate to use a travel agent, whether it is Chris and Lisa, who obviously I've got that connection to, or just if you want somebody that's in your area, get somebody that's in your area, because you're going to get more bang for the buck. Even if you're getting the same prices that you're getting online, you're at least getting the service element. You're not paying extra to have the agent, but you're probably getting extra perks if you are looking at dollar for dollar the exact same price. You're definitely going to get more somewhere, either a better price or more perks, a lot of times both. And again, that's an endorsement across the board for any travel agent. I know that they've, you know, that our friends Billy and Larissa,
cruisehabit.com, bitches.
when they do their group cruises, they've got travel agents that they work with that line all that stuff up and make sure it goes smoothly. So again, it could be, you know, if we end up doing, and we've talked about this, and it's just a matter of planning. If we end up coordinating a group cruise, it's probably either going to be teamed up with Cruise Habit or teamed up with Chris and Lisa. But
or maybe a whole, maybe we'll do a throuple.
Or maybe, yeah, who knows? But ultimately, the conduit to all the good stuff is absolutely using some sort of travel agent, for sure.
Right. And if you've never been on a Carnival cruise and you're unsure about what those ships are like, you can find a lot of that information over at our friends at cruisehabit.com. And if you decide to go there to check that out,
cruisehabit.com/BSDN.
Use that link, cruisehabit.com/BSDN. That'll take you right on over to the cruisehabit.com site, where you can see information all about, you can search by cruise lines, search Carnival Cruise Notes. They'll show you video of the cruise lines, give you information. It is a hub of awesome information.
Hello. 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 Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi. Damn it. I every time, like one of my long-term goals is to catch some sort of scam call or telemarketer call while recording this podcast.
Hopefully we'll catch him one of them days.
It came up and it said telemarketer, and I answered it, and it just failed.
Boo.
Epic
Boo.
fail.
Well, we thank you all. Well, it has been an hour already.
Sure has.
Jesus, Louises. I didn't even get into the photo shoot me and the wife did for a model agency. I didn't talk about, you know, the different locations we've been, where we're headed to. There's so much has happened in the past week. Well, I guess you guys to stay tuned for the next episode.
That's right.
And we talk about all that kind of stuff, and give more shout out to all the different people that I meet and all the fun that we have, and to make sure that I haven't done anything crazy. And who knows what destination will be locked in by the time we talk again. Again, this shit's fluid and moving. We thought we had a clear path forward, and one simple email changed that whole thing. So back to up in the air. We know which way we're leaning, and we'll see which way we go. But in the meantime, you guys do all the things. You know, go to bullwiththebutthole.com. sign up at our Patreon, hit us up on the social medias. We have a merch store. Swing on over to whereisbigsexy.com. Wear like you're wearing clothing. You can check us out over there. You can get some of our wonderful and amazing merch and swag. You can put it on a hat, put it on a shirt. I know they're having a sale.
All on
I mean,
sale
Sea
right
Public.
now.
They're always having a sale, but everything like 30% off right now. So get yourself some Big Sexy Digital Nomad swag. I've actually hit up our good friend Brogan over at 7 Billion Needles for some additional art ideas. Like I love the Big Sexy Digital Nomad. We have our logo. That's our logo. The cursive white letters with the pink-ish, purplish Digital Nomad writing. I want those in initials. I think it'd be cool to have those just as initials, BSDN, in that font. So I want to get that because that looks better like on a hat, like just those 4 initials, BSDN. On a hat, I want to get that done. I have a lot of different ideas. We have some, funny comments and things that we mentioned over the podcast that I think will make good either shirts or artwork or whatever. I'll put a call out to any artists. If you're listening to this podcast and you do graphic artwork, you do any kind of art, mock us up something. Make something that what Big Sexy Digital Nomad means to you. Put that up, and again, if we like it, we'll buy it from you. We'll take it. We'll turn it into swag and give you a little something for it. Any musicians? We need more music. We need some music to put stuff under and some other things. And I don't think I uploaded the new one we got from our guy Froyo, who dropped us some music. Next episode I'll have that ready to go. Yeah, but we thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate it. We're 5 away from episode 100.
That's right.
Yeah, I got to solidify the plans. I know that means it's 5 weeks from now, so I got to look at the calendar, get an idea of where we'll be at that time. Part of me is hoping we'll be in Vegas at that recording so that I can get some people live instead of just on in the StreamYard, whatever. I would love to have some of our guests live, so we'll see if I'm able to procure that. Who knows? We'll find out one way or the other. But thank you all for listening. Be sure to tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a family member's friend or a friend's family member. We need the listenership up. Swing on over to our YouTube channel, do other things. If you're listening to this on Spotify when this comes out, go down to the links below, click on one of the links, and be sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I don't really mention it much, but we do have an option to the Buy Me a Coffee. We do have an account over Buy Us a Coffee. So you buymeacoffee.com, I think, / Big Sexy Digital Nomad or Big Sexy Nomad, but the link's in the description below. If you want to, send a few dollars our way, we definitely appreciate it. I promise you it will go to good stuff, most likely getting Jobit some coffee.
Or just come see me at the Rochester Fringe and I'll buy you a beer.
There you go. That's
Or
even
coffee,
better.
if that's your preference.
That's even better. Yeah, go. Definitely go see Judgmentalist at the Fringe. And again, stay tuned. Stay tuned to eltonmagic.com for. I'm pretty sure that kind of information will be the ticket release. And we'll definitely mention it here as well.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. But in the meantime,
Safe travels.
safe travels.
Safe travels.
It's like the wave.